call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilman David Broussard.
Bow your head and say the prayer, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember Natalie Lopez. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter. Here. Councilmember Sherry Gilbert. Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Thank you. We have no public comment cards. At this time, I'll ask you to put your phones on vibrate, and we'll be moving on to item 2.
Acceptance of the minutes. Acceptance of the minutes of the September 3rd, 2019 meeting as published on September 12th, 2019.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any discussion on this? Hearing, seeing none. Please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Item 3.
Persons to address the council. First, we have Mr. Tony Miguez announcing his candidacy for New Iberia City Marshal.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you guys for allowing me to be here. My name is Tony Miguez, and I am a lifelong resident of New Iberia. I am seeking the office of Marshal. But I want to get to the point of to let you know what some of my plans are. First and foremost, I will not be seeking any type of funding from the city. I see an opportunity once whoever takes the office. There's over 2,000 failure to appear warrants on the books, which is going to be a couple $100,000 that are on the books, and that's going to be my first goals to go after that. My goal is to aid and assist the city, the mayor, the city police. I'm not going to be another city police. I want to be the marshal. I want to aid and assist you guys. I hope to be able to meet with the mayor and the chief on a weekly basis to see what it is he needs that office to do to make our city better. But I see there's monies that office is just hasn't been collected for whatever reason. But one of the first things I will do, since I am a police officer, is to go out and find these people and bring them in and have them pay their fines. And I hope to be a point where that we won't be a burden to the city at all, that we should be able to finance that department and run it without a burden on the city and the taxpayers. And my number is 121. I think I'm just a little shorter than the mayor by 5. But anyway, I would love to have your vote, and I threw y'all off, didn't I? Running October 12th, I'd love to have y'all's vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Now we have Mr. Marcus Bryant announcing his candidacy for State Representative District 96.
Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing me to come in and announce my candidacy for District 96. I am Marcus Bryant. I'm a lifelong resident of New Iberia. And I'm not going to give you a long political speech. For the most part, all of you know who I am and what I'm about and the character I possess. I plan to maintain that and have a partnership and friendship in Baton Rouge so that you can get the job you need to get done here with dealing with the issues that you could face in this community. 40% of my district is Iberia. I'll probably touch on each one of y'all districts. I start at Bayard and I go all the way down to the airport. So I have the airport, I have Catholic High, I have Nish, I have Hopkins, I have John Park. In most of the schools in my district, I deal with downtown issues. I deal with Main Street. I have Main Street starting here all the way down till we leave out of the city limits. So please pray for me. I ask you for your help, your prayers. I am 84 on the ballot for District 96, and I will continue to work and make sure y'all have what y'all need in Baton Rouge to get things done here. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3C.
Mr. Paul Landry announcing his candidacy for Iberia Parish Council District 7.
Good afternoon. It's nice to come see y'all up here. Just letting most of y'all know that I'll be running again for re-election in District 7. It's roughly Dustin Swear's area and part of Natalie Lopez, Dan Doyle's old area. You know, I've always looked up to Dan, so that's why I enjoy doing this so much. But what I'm most proud of is,
That wasn't a joke. It didn't sound
actually I
believable.
look down to him because I'm a little taller. But anyway, what I'm most proud of is as a young father, I coached all my kids in Little League and football and all that stuff, and I took that feeling to the council. My first year, Ricky Gonsalad made me Public Works Chairman. Second year, Natalie had me as the Finance Chairman, and that's where I really learned the budget. And then the next 2 years, I was proud that my colleagues elected me to be the chairman of the council 2 years in a row. So if I'm reelected, I can hit the ground running. You know, we have a lot of projects. You know, I can't say enough about Freddie and all of y'all. You know, we're working great together, and I think we can do a lot more coming. Finances is a big problem, but we're coming out the hole. So if any of y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer it, but please consider me for your vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, Paul. Now, Paul's a unique council person because he represents part of the city and part of the parish.
That's
And
correct.
He's one of the council members, and I'm gonna say that really did many things working together with city administration to get the parish to fund things that normally we didn't do in the past. And I wanna thank you for all what you did and appreciate what you did, and I think you'll be great and get reelected and continue to what you've been doing for us, because it's hard when you represent the city and the parish. It's where you're gonna put your time and your effort, but you do it greatly, and you did a lot for our district, and
I appreciate that, and there's a little bit more, you know, I had 10 things that I got in, I accomplished 9. My last one is to fix part of the problem with T-Bayou. As you know, it comes through y'all city and goes to the bayou, and I'm talked to Ben Longlinay, but I have not set with Leroy Landry, but I think we can dam toward Terrell Court and let the water come back in. And to me, it's going to be a win-win. Ben said there's enough drop, there's enough space in that pipe that we should be able to work it. So we'll let the hydrologists and engineers figure that out. But then I have another 13 plans for the next 4 years. So, and it includes y'all.
Thank you. Right,
He's gonna reschedule.
I think item 3D, school board member Raymond Shudu Lewis will reschedule. So we'll move on to item 4.
Resolution recommending an individual to fill the seat and unexpired term left by the termination of Shwanika S. Keel on the New Iberia Housing Authority Board in accordance with LARS 40:531.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Guidry. Do you have any discussion on this item? Any-
Do we have a candidate or?
We do, we do.
They have 2 applications.
We have 2
in the package.
applications in your packet.
Okay, yeah.
Miss Carolyn Deal
And McKinnis Armstrong.
and McKinnis Armstrong. Are they both here?
Nobody else. Oh, Ms. Deal?
Miss Deal? Good, thank you for coming. Yeah, the way the process works is, this is one that basically the mayor fills. So I did what I always do, I bring everything to y'all because we're a team. But the way it's really written, I would just appoint someone. But since we do that for some boards, but then other boards I bring to y'all, I think the fair thing to do is to bring everyone here. So I'll put both the applications in, and that's where we are. But I want some feedback, so if you have any discussion, we can discuss it.
Discuss on the individuals?
Yes. I mean, I think, my choice was Mrs. Deal, but then I wanted to bring it forward. So now, you want to have a discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Miss Carolyn Deal, I've been on it for quite some time now. A person of integrity, a hard worker, fair person, very kind, easy to talk to, great lawyer, I believe, in most aspect. And I would be happy if she would be the person that you, Mayor, appointed for this seat.
Thank you. Further discussion?
I didn't hear the other one. I know it's in pay, but what is that?
Mr. Armstrong?
Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
McKinnis
McKinnis
Armstrong?
Armstrong.
He was on the board.
He had served on the board
Before.
previously, and y'all know this is our board that we have had a lot of discussions about the housing project, and I have gotten very deeply involved with trying to make sure that the housing project continues and kind of beat back some things that HUD wanted to do at one time. And I can tell you we had a conference this week with them, and it is moving in the right direction. But this is a board that we're replacing. I removed a member because they did not attend the meetings. This was someone we had appointed over a year ago, and they never made a meeting. So that board needs some help, and trying to put someone there that's positive and that brings some kind of new energy to the board. So that was my thought. I have nothing against Mr. Armstrong. I'm sure he was a good board member. I just felt, to make my choice, that we needed to maybe put some new blood on and get some new energy there, because there are some real challenges. The condition of the facility is not good, and there is money to fix it, but we don't know that there's enough money to renovate the whole facility. So we're trying to save it, and I just felt that we needed some kind of new blood. But those were our two applicants.
Well, I'm like, I don't know Mr. Armstrong, and I want to be fair since I don't know him. And but Miss Deal is here tonight. Is he here tonight?
I don't think so.
Okay. And
Mr. Armstrong? No,
Yep.
I didn't think so.
I sent
You
him
know,
an
I-
email.
And we sent them both an email, And like I said, I just made the process an extra step by bringing it here, but I like to do that.
I know a little bit about serving on boards.
Yeah, yes, you do.
No offense to my attorneys, Jeff, but it's not that they're better than us, but I think it's always good to have attorneys on board of boards, because of their legal, experience, and not just their legal experience, but their professionalism. By nature of their business. I like Ms. Deal too. I don't,
Good.
I know it's not a vote, but it's a
No,
confidence
that's
to
what I
you.
want.
And
Yeah,
you,
yeah, I want us to be on the same page. Yes, Natalie.
Okay. No, I recognize Ms. Deal just in the courtroom and out and about. But just for the public's sake, because I know this has been a kind of a hot topic. That you are aware of the issues that we have been facing. You are aware of the attendance problems that have happened. And while we are so grateful for anyone who wants to serve on a board, because you do not get paid, I just want to ask you, do you feel at this time that you have the extra time and the commitment? I know as a lawyer you get to make your own schedule for the most part, but do you feel that at this time you have the time and the energy to make this commitment to see it through? Because I do believe your guidance would be much appreciated and valued, but I just want to make sure that sometimes people just go get on a board because people are like, oh, they need someone, can you just come sit on this board with us, and that this is an active choice by you.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, thank you. That's all I have.
I can tell you that I met with her prior to putting her name up, and she's my HUD fighter. We are working well with HUD, but on the other hand, it would be nice to have her on that board. Yes, Dan?
Yeah, Mayor, looking at a resume, because it's like a resume, it's 3 pages long of a history of what she did.
Yep.
I think we're just so lucky to have somebody
I
with
couldn't
this
agree
kind
more.
of professionalism and knowledge to want to get on a board that's really needing help.
Yeah.
That's sinking boat.
Yeah, it's easy
And
to
a
go
lot
with
of
something
people
that's
like
popular.
a lot of people like to run from a board when it's sinking like a boat.
Yep.
But this lady's coming forward, and I
agree.
appreciate that for sure. And sometimes it takes one person to change on this council to make things go forward.
Mhm.
And I hope this is the answer to that board, and looks like with her knowledge of everything I read, it's a plus. So thank you and welcome.
Any further discussion?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have some experience on boards also. And I do wanna, it's a job that you have to give it to your everything. And of course, it's not paid. And sometimes things get rough and you wanna quit. But you have to hang in there, and see it through. So I'm hopeful that since you already know the problems and you're jumping on board right now, that you're not one of those that would just jump off like some people
I don't think
tend
so.
to do. We need somebody that's going to be consistent and going to work with the other people on the board in order to move the housing authority forward. And if that is you, I'm very happy to have you.
Mr. Broussard.
It's nice to see a fresh face on this board. And ma'am, make a difference, please, when you walk up there. Make a difference. We need a difference fast. Because, boy, we have a lot of people on us. And the city needs help. We want to keep our roofs over people's houses. So please try to see what you can do to help us a lot.
Great. Any further comment? Then I'll ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you, and thanks for your service. I think it's gonna be good. See why I bring things to the council even though I don't have to? It's all good. Let's move on to 4B.
Resolution authorizing disposal of surplus equipment for the fire department, Parks and Recreation Department, Public Works Department, and Wastewater Department as described on Exhibit A.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Broussard. Do I have a second? Second by the Mayor Pro Tem, Dan Dahl. Do we have any discussion?
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes.
It looks like majority of these items that we've taken off is vehicles.
Yes.
When we take them off, do we take them off our insurance too?
Yes.
And
We will-
like some of these.
Some of them are parked now
Yeah,
that we're
that's what I'm
not paying
saying.
insurance now. In
Oh,
other
okay.
words, these are vehicles that have been parked. I don't want to say abandoned because they're on our property, but we don't utilize them. Some were around for parts for other matching vehicles. It's there at the end of their life. I mean, we have nothing. If I tell you the scrounger that I am that a car is no good, it's really no good. But we have them parked behind City Park, behind the gym. Some are at Public Works. They're all over the place. That they just need to go.
And Mayor, if you, I walked back there behind the park with you and saw.
Yes.
Garbage.
Yeah.
I guess you call it.
Recycled material.
It looks like if we have things like that, could we kind of maybe in the future try to keep the unused properties we have, like at Public Works, and not behind the parks, because it's kind of ugly, and I think there's a way that we can maybe gain some more parking or something.
I don't disagree. We have begun to move more things to Public Works when we can. Like we had a couple extra police cars. We've moved them. We had a dead soldier in the parking lot that here that I said, no, get it to Public Works.
Not real dead.
So, no, another vehicle.
Okay.
So we're in the process of starting to do more of that. And I think once we get the park cleaned up, we're not going to use it as a graveyard again.
Cool. Thanks.
Won't happen. Any further discussion? Well, I ask you to vote your machines. Thank y'all. Now we move on to item 5.
Oh, we have to expand that.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have an item to expand the agenda. Madam Clerk?
Okay, we need a motion to add to the agenda.
I'm so moved.
I need a second.
So we have a motion, okay, Councilwoman Ledbetter and the Mayor Pro Tem. And
Now we need a vote.
now we need to vote to expand the agenda. Please vote your machines.
And it's for this item.
Yes, yes. Great, thank you. So now we add item 4C.
For what? Yes,
Is it like a hit on someone?
Yeah, I didn't know if we were supposed to read it first or,
I think you read it.
I wondered that. That's why I said Madam Clerk, so we didn't read it. Okay,
Okay, now I'm gonna read it.
okay, let her
Resolution
read it.
A resolution to add to the agenda, resolution authorizing the city of New Iberia to enter into an equipment lease purchase agreement with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the purchase of dispatch communications equipment and authorizing the mayor to sign any and all documents in connection therewith. Another motion.
Now I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. I need a second. Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion on this item?
Just brief us, please.
I'll be glad to. This is the dispatch equipment, and we needed to make sure that we followed all of the procurement rules. So we're going to be piggybacking with Lafayette to purchase this, just like people piggyback off of us, and we had to prove that we were buying it as per state contract, and this is the paperwork that shows that we are following the procurement rules. We actually got an even better deal than we thought we were going to get. It's well within the budget. We're all fine, but this is just a step to make sure that we follow the rules of procurement. So that's why we're doing this.
Thank you.
Not a problem, anytime. Any further discussion? Then I'll please ask you to vote your machines. Thank y'all. Thank you, Jeff and Maxine, for keeping us out of trouble. Now we move on to item 5. Madam Clerk.
Approval of municipal salary structure and increase. A, approval of municipal government civil service salary structure where it reflects only the increase in the range widths without affecting the minimum rates.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Councilwoman Guidry. Do we have any discussion?
Mayor, I know we didn't adopt the budget, but the proposed budget, we kind of agreed to what we're going to be doing, and we already had the 2% included in that budget that we already proposed to adopt.
Yes.
Normally, doesn't we get this before we even look at the budget? I mean, it seems like it's kind of done after we already.
Well, we've had our budget meeting,
Yeah.
but we haven't approved the budget.
Yeah, I know,
yet.
but it's not a change because you already have this information on
Correct.
our proposed budget.
Correct.
Correct? That's all I want to make
Yes.
sure it didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna call our finance director just to make sure.
Yes,
We already put it in.
2%.
Right. I mean, every year, all of our employees get a 2%.
Not
and that's
every year.
Not every year, but you know, this year. God dang it. Yes. Any further discussion? All good? Dan, I'll ask you to please vote your machines. You crazy. Thank you all very much. Now we go to 5B.
The
Madam Clerk?
next one's for the 2%.
The next one is the 2%.
Approval of a 2% general increase for municipal classified employees to become effective November 1st, 2019, which is the minimum required as is written in the municipal civil service rules.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Lewis. Do I have a second? Councilwoman Ledbetter. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines. And as you see, this is not to take effect till November, till the new budget. And it is by the municipal civil service rules. Thank you. Item 6.
Introduction of ordinance and budget amendment. Introduction of ordinances and to set for public hearing on October 1st, 2019. An introduction of budget amendment ordinance number 2018-2019-16, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2018-2019, to amend for the 5% budget variance.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second? Councilman Broussard. Do we have any discussion? Remember, this is every year we have to adjust our final budget at the last part to be within 5%. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Madam Clerk, item 7.
Public hearings. Public hearing on introduction of budget amendment number 2018-2019-15, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes, appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2018-2019, to amend the budget to replace funds utilized during Storm Barry, to replace funds, utilized during Storm Barry, and to utilize administration income received for administering the Main Street Scholarship.
I need a motion to open our public hearing.
I definitely have a motion to open a public hearing.
I second
Thank
the
you,
motion.
Councilwoman Guidry and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Do we have any public comment on this motion? Seeing, hearing none, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Councilwoman Guidry
Second the motion.
and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Thank you very much. Now we move on to adopt. Item 8.
Adoption of budget amendment number 2018-2019-15, amending the ordinance levying certain taxes appropriating the funds necessary to defray the expenses and liabilities of the city of New Iberia for the year 2018-2019, to the amended budget to replace funds utilized during Storm Barry and to utilize administration income received for administering the Main Street Scholarship.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Guidry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Broussard. Any discussion?
So basically, this is saying that we're getting our money back, or we've received our money back, and we want to put it back into the budget.
Well, we haven't got the money back from FEMA yet, but this is moving the money in our budget to where, to be able to balance everything and to put back the money
We took out.
that we took out, basically. FEMA will be a long way off, but it's coming. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Thank y'all. Now we go to item 9. Madam Clerk?
Financial reports, presentation of the proposed 2019-2020 budget for public hearing and adoption on October 1st, 2019.
Kevin?
And I gave them each a copy.
Yeah.
Hello, council.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Marla. Mr. Marla. If y'all are okay, we're going to proceed like we have in the past, and we'll just do it in total. If you have any questions, we can go into more detail at that point.
Wait, hold up. Yeah. The first
Oh.
one was presentation of the proposed budget.
Oh, yeah.
Which I put on there,
I saw it threw me for a minute. That's
Yeah.
why it didn't come up.
Which we all have.
which they all
Right,
have.
right. Well, I just wanted you up here. You put it together.
Okay.
So everybody has their new budget book? And
Anything he needs to tell them?
is there anything you need to tell them? Has there been any change since, the last time? Since our
Well,
budget meetings?
Yes. When we reviewed some of the numbers, we had not originally included the revenue that we are projecting for the tickets to be issued, so we adjusted the amount for city court as well as the police departments to pick up additional income. As a result of doing that, we improved our numbers even more. If I remember correctly, we're going to finish the year off on the general fund with a surplus of 200,000. And we will finish in the sales tax with a surplus of 1.9 million. So,
That's
Yeah, because it ended up that between tickets, fines, bonds, forfeitures, everything, we hadn't put in quite 650,000, I think,
650 is
of revenue that will come from the courts. Remember, this is the first time ever that city court's been in our budget. So we had all the expenses, but we hadn't finished calculating all of the revenue. But, so that was the one change. Good, well, got your budget books, no questions. Now we can move on to 9B.
Presentation by Kevin Zarang, City Treasurer, of the July 31st, 2019 budget to actual comparisons.
all right.
There we
I'll
go.
say hello, council, again.
Hello, Mr. Kevin.
Hello, Miss Sherry. All right, so as of the end of July, we were 9 months into the budget, which equates to 75% of the budget year. General fund, we had originally budgeted 19.7 million in revenue. Year to date, we're at 14.4, which puts us at 73.27% of the revenue. Expenses, originally budgeted 19.8, year to date 12.9. We're at 64.98% of our expenses. Parks and Recreation, budgeted revenue of 1.2 million. We are at 1.1 million, leaving us at 84.9% of our budget. Expenses, Budget 1.4, year-to-date 888,000, leaving us at 62.3% of our budget. Public Works 2.8, budgeted revenue, actuals 2.3, leaving us at 79.93% of the budget revenue. Expenses 2.8, actuals 1.8, leaving us at 73.84% of the budget. Sales tax fund, revenue of 8.1 million, year-to-date 6.3, leaving us at 77.22% of the budget. Expenses of 8.5 million, year-to-date 6.4, leaving us at 74.89% of the budget. Public safety tax fund, budget of 3.1 million, year-to-date 2.2, leaving us at 72.78% of the budget. Expenses of 3.1 million, year-to-date of 2.3, leaving us at 76.54% of the budget. Garbage fund, year-to-date revenue 4.8, actuals 3.7, leaving us at 76.35% of the revenue. Expenses 4.8, actuals 3.5, leaving us at 73.49% of the budget. Section 8, 1.4 million revenue. Budget actual is 1.03, leaving us at 75.75% of the revenue. Expenses of 1.4, budget actual is 1.024, leaving us at 74.49. Wastewater revenue budget of 6.5 million, year to date we're at 4.5, leaving us at 69.21% of the revenue. Expenses budget 5.3, actuals 3.8, leaving us at 71.74% of the expenses. Do we have any questions?
I got a comment, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
You gave us a copy of that sales tax collections up through August. So far we're 1.5% ahead in our collections. And I've been on this council a long time, as Natalie has been. And I never seen, we only went down 2 months on a negative tax collection so far out of 10 months of the year. That's unheard of. And I want to thank the citizens. I want to thank, of course, the mayor and the council and administration. But it's because the people locally are buying locally. They're spending money here. And if you and people don't realize the list of projects that was put in this year's budget that we'll be seeing next year is unbelievable. And ended up with the balances that we do have. And I think the next, even September, October could be positive, and that could be a record-breaking collection for the city. So I just want to thank you, and I think with the information that Kevin gives us every month to see where we stand, we can address a problem if we have one. And luckily, you got your department heads that stay in line, and we never have to worry about being over budget. And I know the mayor's tough on that. I think maybe Kevin's a little tougher than the mayor on him. But at the end of the day, it pays off. Sometimes you don't appreciate, just like raising a kid, it's tough love, but when they grow up, you appreciate what they did. I appreciate, honestly, with the mayor and the department heads and how they kept on top of this, because that's a big deal. I mean, people don't understand this is a big deal and a good thing for the city of New Iberia. And I just thought they would know that, because most people looking at these numbers means nothing, but when you've been here and seen the bad part of it, it means a lot. There's a lot of positive things that happen, so thank you.
Well, I'll tell you that my department heads work really hard, every one of them, and it's a team effort. It takes y'all too. I think that what's really making the show is people are seeing that the investments we're making, the new businesses that are coming, the investment we made in the police department, down the line, our investments as a team are starting to pay off. People are realizing the reason these sales tax are up is because we actually have new businesses that people can shop at. They don't have to go to Lafayette, and that will continue. I think we're on the trail to continued growth, more new businesses. There's been some more buildings downtown that have been sold in the last couple of weeks. People are making investments here. So it's about shopping local, but it's about us as a team, as a council, as my department heads, it's all of us kind of setting the mood for us to grow. In other words, if we don't open the door for that opportunity to come in, we won't get there. But this is beginning to show the fruits of just kind of what teamwork across the board can do. So I thank every one of y'all. Any other discussions? Questions?
Yeah, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I coin myself and pattern myself for always asking for stuff for my community, for my district, for underserved. But I ask. The administration team, they know I ask. Department heads. But it's
each
good.
councilperson's job to
That's
ask,
right. That's right. But it's good to see our city growing from within, kind of like you said, Dan. A lot of people can't see what's happening in our town, but it is growing. And I'm proud to say I serve on this council. With the leadership we have all across the board. And I just cannot get this Christmas movie out of my mind. And I mean, that's awesome. That is awesome, and I believe that is a sign of our prosperity and our growth. So man, let's keep doing what we're doing, and I believe we can become that shining star that I talked about before, that shining star in Acadiana.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
I just think that, definitely, in my opinion, with the police department, it kind of gives people new hope, almost. Like I rode through town last night. I went ride at 10 o'clock at night, and I mean, it's just so peaceful. Everything's tucked away. It's clean, and it's just it is, and it just makes me just happy to be from my little small town. It really, really does. But not only that, what I noticed from this term to my previous terms, in my previous term, I would get calls, I see workers, they not doing nothing. I mean, I got calls like that all the time, and I'm like, okay, I'm not here to go around and tase people and be like, hello, you need to get to work. That's not my job. And now we've come from that to I literally get calls about can you do this? Can you do that? And I call it in, and it's already on the list about to happen. And then it happens in 3 days, and they call me. They're like, oh my God, they think I'm a miracle worker, and I'm like, it was already on the list, And I mean, it's it just is so different from what has transpired over the past. Just these past 3 years that we've been here. So, I just want people to understand that, the investment we asked you for with the police tax, I mean, we take it seriously, and this administration definitely takes it seriously. And, I mean, it's, I get excited every time I see a roadblock with a hole being filled in. I'm like, what? Okay. It's just so nice that they're going around and spot checking on top of what we do. I just want to put that out there that's how it is, and it's nice to be a part of a team where you have that.
Thank you. Further discussion? And as you know, we're early on our budget. What's our next step, Kevin?
The next meeting, the first week of October, we will adopt the budget.
So we will have adopted our budget 1 month early, basically.
Yes.
Yes, good. I think that's due to a lot of hard work. Thank you for that, and all my department heads, because we really kind of crammed it to get it in early. We have a lot of matches coming, a lot of grants we're successful with, a lot of projects, and we just all felt as an administration we should get that done as early as possible so that we could work off of the realest, most approved numbers we could get. And by handling the budget early, it just gives me a little more confidence that we are heading in the right direction. So thank you. All right. Item 10, we have no items. Item 11, Councilman remarks. Guess I'll start with Councilwoman Lopez.
I don't have anything. I just want to apologize for being 10 minutes late tonight.
It's all right. Thanks for coming.
I had a lot going on.
We don't need to know what's going on.
I don't like to be late. It aggravates me.
Thank you. Marlon.
Yeah, Mayor. I witnessed something in the parking lot coming in here, and I just got to speak it weighing heavy on my heart. Councilman Lewis was supposed to be here to share with us tonight, and as he was pulling up, myself and Sherry and Mr. Broussard were all getting in our cars, and we could see the hurt on his face, and to have an out-of-body experience where we all sacrifice being late to come to the meeting to console him as a former government official. You know, I can honestly say I saw us put politics aside for a second to console our brother, you know. And my prayers, and I know all our prayers, are continuous with him and his family. And I would probably say that if he would share, and we pray that this gun violence stops. It has truly gotten better because of our new police department, but there's a lot more work to be done, and we have to continue to build from the inside. And when I say inside of some of those homes, of those families that are allowing their kids, their brothers, their significant other, to do illegal activities in their homes and come out and terrorize our city. It's time to turn them in and turn them over, because that's the only way this city is going to get safer.
Thank you. Mr. Broussard.
Next to Rouse's, the garden center, they tearing up all the parking lot. No sign of what they're gonna build. Would they expanding Rouse's, or they
No,
gonna
sir.
put something
Ross
else?
Dress for Less. It's a clothing store,
Oh, okay.
and they coming.
Didn't see no sign. My district
That's what's coming.
starting to get cold like we had before. It's nice to see that it's expanding our old shopping centers and open up too many white elephants in this town. Let's keep our businesses going where they're satisfied here. You know, and keep them in the city if we can.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dan.
Well, I just want to remind the public that the Sugarcane Festival is coming. It's coming downtown. It's coming Bouldney Plaza. It's coming down Fulton.
Yep.
And they're gonna have a lot of block traffic for a few days. So just be prepared, because I know people's gonna call and say, "What are they doing? Blocking down Main Street, or blocking down this." It's something we're trying. Not we, the association's trying, along with the city. And when you do see city police officers working, the association's paying the city for those guys
Paying
to
those
work.
off- paying those,
That's
yes.
right. So the city's not giving the free security. I just want it out there because people are already calling and they didn't stop traffic yet. And I know it's gonna be different, but I think it's gonna be a positive thing, and just have a little patience. If not, take another route. Thank you.
Thank you. Deidre?
I'd like to announce Neighborhood Watch for District 4 will be Thursday, day after tomorrow, at the Slyman at 6:00 p.m. And we're gonna have some of the candidates for parish president, state representative for District 96, city marshal, district parish council District 6, and one of the other officers. I'm so many, and it's limited. I tried to do what was best for my district, you know, just those particular ones. So come on out. It's kind of like a meet and greet. The candidates will speak for 5 minutes, and there will be no questions. However, you'll have time to conversate and socialize with the candidates after, because we're gonna have refreshments. So it's for District 4, but if you haven't met some of the candidates, come on out. I invite everybody to attend 6:00 Thursday at the Slyman for the Neighborhood Watch. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Sherry?
Yes, I have just a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to thank our honorable mayor for attending our neighborhood watch.
Oh, that was
Our
fun.
city attorney, Mr. Jeff Simon, brought some great insight. You both brought some great insight to the residents for District 5 and citywide. And I would like to thank the councilmen and the councilwoman that did attend, Ms. Deidre Ledbetter, Mr. Marlon Lewis, and Mr. Broussard. most of all the residents that were there. A lot of them had a lot of questions. I realized we went a little long, but at the same time, it was the first one, I believe, ever that was actually held in that area and in that building, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we can continue talks concerning certain issues, but I am excited about how we're, like Councilman Marlin said, we're building from the inside, and I like to say we're building internally within our city borders. So, and again, it's a pleasure to serve on this council. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's my turn. Yes, ma'am.
One more thing.
Sure.
Just to remind everybody that early voting starts on the 28th and goes through October the 5th, and then of course election day is the 12th. So exercise your right to vote.
Thank you.
Hey, Mayor, real quick, one announcement. One quick announcement.
Okay.
I was
And
asked
then
to
I-
announce the Brown Sugar Music Festival.
That was on my list. Go ahead,
Go
Dave.
ahead. You got it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Brown Sugar Music Festival on Hopkins Street, big block party, safe family event, September the 28th. That's the Saturday from 1 to 8. Live music, food, fun, and fellowship.
Good.
City approved.
City approved. Sherry.
I forgot to add that
Sure.
to my list. Thanks, Marlon, for bringing that up. And also, too, don't we have a farmer's parade that's coming up as well?
We do.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
For the Dairy Queen.
Great. Well, as everybody's already kind of talked about most of the items I had, Sugarcane Festival should be really good. Will be different. Let's see what it does. Went to the downtown business merchants meeting this morning. Those are the people who will be the most impacted because they have made investments. Their businesses are downtown. Most of them are excited about it. It does bring new opportunity. Like I told them, let's try it for a year. We've got to support that festival. Remember, just a few years ago, we almost lost it by one vote. It was heading to Youngsville. So I promised we would step up as a community. We certainly have. This administration has, as well as all of you. So let's get behind our festival. It's 77 years old, 78 years old. It's,
I'm about to say 78.
I think it's
We should be
78.
close to that.
Yeah. So, we need to support it because it is our festival. That was my first announcement. Other than that, still have properties on Civic Source for sale. Let's talk adjudicated property for 1 second. We are working on some new ideas of maybe some ways to move it quicker. We are still working and hoping to partner with Smile and some other agencies out there to try to move some of these houses in some new ways. We discussed that at the meeting, at Sherry's meeting last week on Ann. I think that idea, that concept will be coming to you soon with some ideas to get this property moving and to work on cleaning our city up. We have properties for sale on Civic Source, about 139 of them. Check those out. Our next meeting is October the 1st. Have a safe and fun Sugarcane Festival, and need a motion to adjourn. Great, thank y'all.